Hi, welcome to our assembly for today. And it's the last day of Maths Week. I hope you've had a really, really lovely time and you've done lots of really interesting things. And certainly when I've been walking around school and I've been talking to your teachers, I've heard lots of really, really interesting stuff. I've learned about arrays in different classes. I've seen work on time. I've seen children out on the playground learning about clockwise and anti-clockwise. There's been all sorts of different things going on. So well done, because you've all worked really, really hard. Now, I've got two things to do today. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit, and some of the children in some of the classes might know a little bit about this person. This is Katherine Johnson. She is a mathematician. Okay, she's pretty cool as things go. And Katherine Johnson worked for NASA. Okay, and NASA is the North American Space Agency, and they send rockets into space. Okay, now before there were calculators or before there were computers or phones, the people who worked at NASA were called computers because they did computations, they did really complicated maths. Okay, and Katherine Johnson was one of the people who had to calculate the flight path for the first mission into space. So when a rocket goes up, it goes up like that. But actually where it goes is really, really carefully worked out. And Katherine Johnson was responsible for doing all of that maths. And she worked for NASA right the way through until she retired in 1986. And during the Friendship 7 mission in 1962, John Glenn, who was the first American astronaut to orbit the Earth, he refused to launch without knowing that Katherine herself had double-checked the maths. Now, what's particularly important is that Katherine is a woman, and even more than that, Katherine is a black woman. So back in the 1950s and 60s, there was a lot of racism around, and women weren't seen equally. Black people weren't seen equally to white people, which we know is wrong. We know that racism is wrong. So she really, really was an incredible person to persevere with her maths, and she pushed forward and said, actually, I can do this. And she showed lots and lots of people how cool she really was. So that's Katherine Johnson, a really important mathematician, and the children in year 3 and 4 have been learning about her this term as part of our Black Lives Matter work. So a very, very cool person, and she's taken maths. So in the past couple of days in assemblies, we've looked at maths around us, we've looked at how we use maths each day, but Katherine has really taken maths onto that next level, and actually she's taken maths into outer space. So pretty amazing stuff. Right. Now, just like we've done previously, I've got a story to tell you. This story is nowhere near as complicated as Katherine Johnson's maths, but it's still just a lovely story because, like I've said before, we really like stories at Wincham. We like reading, and this one is just a lovely one about some maths. Okay, it's called 100 Tiny Ants, 100 Hungry Ants, sorry. A whole hill of hungry ants, their faces all aglow, came swarming from the forest to cross the field below. A soft breeze fanned the sunshine and whisked them on their way. It hinted of yummies for their empty tummies. That means a picnic. Hooray! 100 ants were singing and marching in a row. We're going to a picnic, a hey and a hidey-ho. Stop, said the littlest ant. We're moving way too slow. Some food will be long gone unless we hurry up. So, with 2 lines of 50, we'd get there soon, I know. All the ants raced here and there, up and down, to and fro. There'll be lots of yummies for our hungry tummies, a hey and a hidey-ho. 100 ants were singing and marching in 2 rows, because 2 times 50 is 100. We're going to a picnic, a hey and a hidey-ho. Stop, yelled the littlest ant, we're moving way too slow. More of the food will be gone unless we hurry up, so with 4 lines of 25, we'd get there soon, I know, because 4 times 25 makes 100, and 2 times 50 makes 100. All the ants raced here and there, up and down and to and fro. We hope there's yummies for our rumbling tummies, a hey and a hidey-ho. 100 ants were singing and marching in 4 rows. We're going to a picnic, a hey and a hidey-ho. Stop, screamed the littlest ant. We're moving way too slow. Lots of food will be gone unless we hurry up. So, with 5 lines of 20, we'd get there soon, I know, because 2 lots of 50 is 100, and 4 lots of 25 is 100, and 5 lots of 20 is 100. All the ants rest here and there, up and down and to and fro. There might be a yummy for a gurgling tummy, a hey and a hidey ho. 100 ants were singing and marching in 5 rows. But what can you see? The squirrel's got the food. The mouse is actually wearing a donut. Has anybody worn a donut? I haven't. The duck's got the biscuits. The badger's got the apple. We're going to a picnic, a hey and a hidey ho. Stop, shrieked the littlest ants. We're moving way too slow. All the food will long be gone unless we hurry up. So, with 10 lines of 10, we'd get there soon, I know, because 10 times 10 is also 100. All the ants raced here and there, up and down and to and fro. There better be yummies for our grumbling tummies, a hey and a hidey ho. 100 ants were singing and marching in 10 rows. But the tortoise has got the cake on his back and the snail's carrying a strawberry. It's not looking good for the ants, is it? At last, we're at the picnic, a hey and a hidey ho. Stop, yipped the littlest ants. We've travelled way too slow. There's no food for us to eat. You took so long with rows. All the ants raced here and there, up and down and to and fro. There aren't any yummies for our growling tummies, a hey and a hidey ho. Oh no! 99 ants were swarming from each and every row, in hot pursuit of one little ant who quickly turned to go. It's not all my fault, you know. And he ran away because there was no food left. There we go. That was written by Eleanor Pincers. And she wrote after the birth of her first grandchild, Casey, which is a lovely thing to see. And Bonnie McCain is the illustrator as well. And I really like the illustrations in this. Can you see that? So all the lines. It's a really different style of illustration. I quite like that story. That's lovely. Okay, there we go, guys. We've had 3 stories all about maths because we find maths absolutely everywhere. We find it in the world around us. We find it in our patterns. We find it in when we're telling the time and when we're going to the shops. Maths is a really, really cool thing because we can do it absolutely everywhere. It's not about doing loads of calculations on a page. It's not about doing all that working out. It can be, and that's good. But it's also everywhere we go, everywhere around us. And that's why it's really, really important to do maths. So some really, really cool stuff that you've been doing. And actually, even if you found your maths really difficult and you haven't got to the right answer, by doing all that thinking, you have been a mathematician. So every single one of you has been a mathematician. No matter how hard you found it, it doesn't matter. You have been a mathematician. And just by doing that practice, you have got cleverer. By practicing, by working your brain, by getting that bit cleverer, you have made yourself just that bit more awesome than you already are. So well done. Right. Have a lovely rest of the day, guys. Enjoy being in your non-uniform for Children in Need. And have a lovely weekend if I don't see you before you go home. Bye-bye.